to another episode of Wicked Darkness. I'm Kathy, and with me tonight, I have Steve.
Hello.
I have Debbie.
Hello.
I have Leah.
What up?
And new to the team is Scott.
What's up?
So, Scott, we now have two Scotts on our team. This one that we have that's on with us right now, this is Scott R. And our co-founder is Scott P. So, welcome, Scott, to the team.
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking about the Mandela Effect. And it's kind of interesting. Since I was talking about it with my husband, I was just telling the team, we were kind of just sitting around watching TV, and that came up, and we're like, oh, that'd be a cool topic to talk about. And so we started like looking through things, and my mind was blowing up, and I'm like, what happened to my life? Did everything in my life, was it a lie, or I don't know. I don't understand. So, tell me about the Mandela effect. Scott, you want to start us off?
Sure. Well, I've got my own theories on it. Mine are probably somewhat non-traditional. I know there are a lot of more rational explanations out there as to what the phenomenon itself is, but what I know it to be just on its face is thousands of people everywhere misremember certain things about our culture, about recent events, not in a big way, but in a less significant way. To give you an example, I grew up with a book called The Bernstein Bears. And I remember very specifically that the spelling of Bernstein was the traditional spelling of the word Bernstein, Bern Stein, Stein. But if you check out any of those books now in a bookstore, there is an extra R in there, or an extra E actually. It's now Berenstein. And that's just one of the many small examples of things that I've noticed that it seems to have changed as I've grown older with no societal explanation whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I see. The most prominent example is Mandela, which I'll let somebody else explain because I've taken up enough of the camera thus far. But yeah, it's just small things like that.
So does anybody know where the Mandela effect, where it originated from?
I think it was a researcher who, I know she wrote a paper or she was giving a lecture and was talking about her memories of Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. And people started questioning that, saying, well, no, he died in 2013. And, she was adamant that he died in prison in the 1980s. And, people were like, well, no, he was the president for a while of his country. And so then she started doing more and more research about it. And I believe she wrote a paper called The Mandela Effect.
Yeah, and she was a paranormal investigator as well. And it originated in 2009. And that's where the reference comes into play, where people think it's one way that they've seen certain things. It could be anything from like a title of a book, a word that you thought was spelt one way and it's spelt a different way, an image that you thought looked this way and it actually looked that way. So it's kind of mind-blowing when you look back into it. And the paranormal investigator, that was Fiona Broom. She created a website even. I don't know if she had a website, but yeah. She thought that I thought Mandela died in the 80s. I totally forgot that he died in 2013. I mean, I've seen him on TV, but my memory, I guess, was telling me, no, he died in the 80s.
I had heard that he died in prison. And
Yeah.
I had believed that for a long time. And then in 2013, I heard the same thing, that he died, and he had been, like, I could have sworn he'd been the president of whichever African country
South Africa.
had
He's the
improved
president of South Africa.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew that for a fact. And then I heard that he had passed away, and the memories didn't line up
Yeah.
at all.
Leah,
I
did you?
find that
Oh,
I
go ahead,
find that
Steve.
stuff like that to be more interesting, because that's something that's on the news, in the papers, historical. I mean, rather than how Fruit Loops is spelled, how people remember Fruit Loops being spelled, and that's one of the examples they give in every single thing I've read here.
Mhm.
I can see people forgetting that, but stuff like this Nelson Mandela stuff, that kind of stuff really interests me, because that's everybody everywhere,
Right. Well,
I think it's all a symptom of the same thing. But I'm sorry, I
no, you're fine.
No.
jumped in there.
Leah, you got anything for the Mandela effect that you've
Nope.
researched?
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
I'm
Not a
going
thing.
to ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
Did Fruit of the Loom underwear, did it ever have a cornucopia
Yep,
in the symbol? It did, right?
it did. Yes, it did. But
Yeah.
everything you see pictures of it, there's no cornucopia. It's always just
It doesn't
fruit laying
anymore.
down. Yep,
Yeah.
but there
Yep.
was for many years.
Well, I
I-
posted a picture on our Facebook page for Wicked Darkness, and the picture that I showed was Captain Crunch. Did he have eyebrows or didn't he have eyebrows?
Oh, I have no idea. that one I missed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sitting there thinking back, and I'm like, what, did he have eyebrows? What happened? Another one was my daughter was walking around. She has a shirt, like a baseball jersey, but it's of Winnie the Pooh. And on the front of it, and it was just one of those things this week, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, ooh, Mandela effect. And she's like, what? And I go, your shirt says 100 acre wood. As a kid, I remember it being 100 acre woods. I always thought there was an S behind the D in wood. I always said 100 acre woods. And
Now,
that's
I'm
not
not sure.
correct.
Is that a British versus America thing with the woods and the wood? I'm not sure about that one. I recall it 100 acre woods
I
with
looked
an
it
S.
up. It's a wood. Yeah, it's not woods.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like I said, my whole life I've been lied to myself. I don't understand this. Like Oscar Mayer. Is Meyer with an A or an E?
Well, it's with an A because Mayer is his second name.
I have
Because your
to sing
baloney's
the
got a
song.
first name.
Yeah. My baloney has a first name. It's
Yeah.
OSCAR. My baloney has a second name. It's MAYER.
There
Yep.
you go.
Yeah. But some people are thinking it's MEYER.
Yep.
It's
Hold on.
crazy.
It is. It's MEYER.
I'm sorry.
A.
See, now we're getting ourselves confused.
It's Mayer.
MAYER. Yeah.
Yep.
I disagree. I think it's MEYER.
No,
No.
it's Mayer.
Yeah. According to
But I
this,
grew up with it as an E. I know I did.
No,
I've eaten enough hot dogs, y'all. I've eaten
No.
enough hot dogs.
Well,
I know.
I'm probably 20 years older than you, and I've been eating them longer, and I've been singing that song, and that's always with a Mayer.
same with
Oh my
you.
gosh, I've shifted realities again. I have.
we're trying to make our listeners, we're going to blow their minds tonight because of all the different things. Like, okay,
I'll get into quantum physics here. We have a conversation coming.
is it Jif or is it Jiffy?
It's
The peanut
Jif.
butter.
It's
It's Jif.
I can remember it being Jiffy.
I do too.
When-
No, because there was Skippy peanut butter and there was Jif
Oh.
peanut butter, and
There
people
it
just kind of
is.
connect the two.
Yep,
Yeah.
Jiffy and Skippy.
you're right.
Yep. So they even said that normally people think of Jiffy and not Jif. And so the people might be getting Jiffy confused with the competing brand of Skippy.
Yep.
Anybody
That
else
I believe.
blowing right now?
So let's explain this a little bit. All right. So Attorney
Intriguing.
Cornell is here to let y'all in on some secrets. All right. All right. Here we go. So as you'll find in an article from Very Well Mind in the psychology section, we talk about stuff like this and why it is what it is, what's going on in our brains. So, for example, do we know who Alexander Hamilton is? And no, it's not the guy that was singing on the stage.
Oh, come on. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. No, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. So,
Isn't he also on the what is it, the $5 bill?
No.
is it still? I don't think so.
He's on a bill. I just don't remember which one. Anyway,
Well,
He was
American
good for president. I remember that.
You what?
He was a president, a good one. I recall that.
But was he though? We learned in school that he's a founding father, but he was never actually a president. However, when we talk about presidents, we believe that Hamilton is a president, and the reason for that is here's like the neuroscience explanation. The memory of Alexander Hamilton is typically encoded in the area of the brain where memories for presidents of the United States are stored. We learned of him as a founding father along with learning about presidents. So we store that name in the same spot.
Hamilton wasn't president?
No.
mm-mm. But you always think
I
that he is,
apologize.
Never
though.
going to be president now. I'm never going to be president now. Never going to be president now. Okay, sorry. Moving on.
That's your Hamilton little.
That was. All right. So the memory traces that are stored is called the engram and framework, which is called schema in your brain. So when we think of Hamilton, we're setting off neurons in close connection to each other, bringing it with the memory of presidents. It also comes up with confabulation. It involves your brain filling in gaps that are missing in your memories to make more sense of them.
Yep.
So when memories are recalled, rather than being remembered perfectly, they're influenced to a point that they can eventually be incorrect. So therefore, memory is actually unreliable, but it's not infallible. So you're not lying, but you're remembering details that don't happen. And
Yeah, they use that as an example of what you're talking about with Nelson Mandela. It says a person who does not recall what happened to Nelson Mandela might conclude that he died a long time ago, then remembering this as fact. The person is not lying. They truly believe this is but it's a false memory.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I wonder how much of that is people, it is something that happened a long time ago. And then you hear someone else talking about it. You take bits and pieces of what you read in the newspaper or a magazine or see on TV and just kind of form your own, oh, this is what happened. It's kind of your own reality of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so here's another one. Star Wars fans, okay? Darth Vader. What does he say? Luke, I'm your father? Or is it, no, I'm your father?
No, I am your father.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen that film thousands of times.
So they say, Luke, I am your father is probably one of the greatest misremembered lines in Star Wars
I think it
and
is.
cinematic history. However, the line is simply, no, I am your father.
Luke, you get on my damn nerves, go away. That's what he said.
Well, see, I get that though. I understand that. And I understand the neuroscience explanation behind a lot of this. And that line, yeah, that's an easy one to confuse. But there are some things that I don't think are so easily explained with that. The nature of reality itself, I think, tends to get a bit fuzzy. And having the explanation be solely in our brains as the misremembrance, I'm not sure about, because I think our consciousnesses and reality can be just as fluid as each other. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But it's, it goes back to like when we're kids, though. How much room do we have in our little brains so that we smash things together, like you were saying, Leah? And okay, well, Hamilton was the founding father, just like Franklin. Franklin's another one, founding father. Everybody's like, well, he was president. No, he wasn't a president. He was just around that group. But same with Hamilton. But in our little brains, we're trying to put all this stuff together, and we just smash it in and go, okay, well, here you go. It's all clumped into one little basket, tucked away so that I remember it on the day for history test. And hope to God I get it right.
I can see that. I still can't believe that Hamilton wasn't a president, though. I could have sworn. I'm gonna have to go back now and read that, because that one got me. It did.
Never made it.
How about Mr. Rogers' theme song? Does he say it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood? Or does he say it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood?
I think
I
it's
never
this
watched
neighborhood.
It's this.
I think it's this.
It is. It's this. But every time I sing it, when I watch it, I say in the neighborhood.
Yep.
My childhood was a lie.
Excuse me.
So you had brought up, Steve, Fruit Loops.
Yes.
Is it spelled FROOTLOOPS? Or is it spelled FRUITLOOPS?
The first one. It's not spelled fruit like fruit. Yeah, it's the first one with the
FROOT. Yeah. But many people remember it spelling it like the actual spelling of fruit, not FROOT.
It's like Captain Crunch. People say Captain Crunch.
Right.
But it's really Captain Crunch.
Yes.
Yeah, with the abbreviation. Captain.
Yes. But if you ask them and no one says Captain Crunch, they say Captain Crunch. And that's just what they see in their head.
All right, Leah, here's one for you. King Henry VIII.
My man.
His turkey leg. So some historians swear up and down that there's a portrait that exists of the medieval king of England holding a turkey leg. Do you remember this picture?
I remember it.
I do not.
You see him standing there holding that turkey leg.
That rings a bell for me for some reason.
Audience, what do you think?
I don't remember seeing it, to be honest.
Steve, what do you think?
I don't remember seeing a picture. I mean, I love history, so I'm looking at all that kind of stuff, but I don't remember him holding a turkey leg. But what do I know? I don't remember it, but not saying it there wasn't.
So some historians swear up and down that there is a portrait that exists with the medieval king of England, my great uncle times 11. Yeah, I just threw that in there. He was married to my great aunt, Jane Seymour, and that was the one that he did not behead. So
yay, my times family. 11.
Yay, my family. She survived it for a little
bit.
Whatever,
she died like a few days later. So after she,
you know what? It was just, she's gonna get beheaded like Anne Boleyn. Okay, leave my aunt alone. Okay, I didn't jump on you with Lizzie.
Listen here, she straight up stole the man away. All right, just stole him.
Well, I heard that Anne Boleyn was kind of a hussy.
Even so, Jane came right on in there and was engaged to the man within a day of Anne Boleyn's head being on the floor. So,
and she gave him a son.
And
Jerry.
So,
May he rest in peace.
so yeah, she's not like really haunting the place without her head. But anyway, so the historians say, they swear up and down, that the portrait that exists with the medieval king of England holding a turkey leg, they say it was around. However, the turkey leg ceases to exist. There is no picture of him with a turkey leg.
So he ate it.
By the end of the time, yeah, he kind of looked like he did. He had a couple of them at that point.
I mean, if I was holding a turkey leg, it would soon cease to exist too. I'm just saying. But
He still liked his legs, though. So even though he was having problems with the one, he thought he looked great in those tights. So
you.
well, he
Yeah.
did when he was younger.
so here's another one. Ed McMahon. We know
My
Ed
man.
McMahon. Ed McMahon from The Tonight Show was with Johnny Carson and all that, right? He was
Hi-oh.
also, yeah, he was also with Publisher Clearinghouse back in the day. You guys remember the Publisher Clearinghouse?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a vivid memory of Ed McMahon appearing on people's doorsteps to hand them a huge check and balloons after winning the Publisher Clearinghouse sweepstakes?
100%.
Yes. I used to see those things all the time. The commercials.
Chances are you're not the only one. However, the Tonight Show's sidekick never made any such house calls. Mind blown again.
That is complete complete B to the S. I've seen it. I've saw it. I know I saw it.
He endorsed American Family Publishers, which was a rival sweepstakes promotion, and never once appeared on the camera.
That is insane. I know I saw it. I know.
You guys hating this yet?
I'm loving it. I'm freaking loving it.
So
This is amazing.
you were talking about the Berenstein Bears. Everybody call it Berenstein Bears. And it's actually
It's the-
Berenstein.
It's the Bernstein's Bears. It's the Bernstein Bears.
Yeah.
At least from the reality I'm from, yeah.
I had to look at my children's books. I had to go to Barnes and Noble and track it down. These people must have thought I was this insane. Well, most people that know me probably say I'm insane anyway. But here's this grown woman walking around Barnes and Noble children's section, seeking out the Berenstein Bears, and I'm cussing up and down because, again, my brain lied to me. Lied. So it is not Berenstein. It is Berenstein. Stain, not Steen. I am not liking this.
It's just simply not, though. It's simply not. I grew up with these books. I owned these books. I learned how to spell Stein from these books. I know. I know how to spell it. It was, it's such vivid in my mind. That's so crazy.
Here's another one. Where is New Zealand located?
New Zealand.
I'm not a geography guy. I'm going to stay out of this one.
The Sin Peanut Gallery. On a geographic map, where is the islands of New Zealand located? Is it located like by Australia? Obviously, it's by Australia. But is it northeast of Australia or is it southeast of Australia?
It's northeast of Australia. It's
Other
above
people?
Australia.
Debbie, where do you think it's at?
Above
East.
Leah?
Yeah.
It's above Australia.
Well, I'm just going to say below because everybody else is saying above. So
I only know this because we have friends that live in New Zealand, but before that, I would have said that it's northeast of Australia. It's southeast.
No.
Yeah, Steve, you're right. You went against.
There you
So
go.
like, if this was like the NFL thing and they were picking the winners and stuff like that, you'd be the lone wolf.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I got phone calls to make after this podcast. I swear. Oh my gosh, it's north. It was northeast. I know. Oh wow,
So
this is blowing my mind. I'm loving this.
here's another one. Disney fans. The
Yeah.
Evil Queen, her mirror. Does she say, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Or does she say, magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
Magic mirror.
Mirror, mirror.
Mirror, mirror.
Leah?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Yeah.
So at the beginning of the film, if you remember the Evil Queen's infamous line, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? You may be in the Mandela Effect. The actual line is magic mirror on the wall. Steve, you're right.
I know my Disney in New Zealand's.
But even, like a little girl, I'd sit there going, mirror, mirror on the wall. I've seen the movie, countless times. My children love Disney.
Oh.
My daughter loved Disney. And
And I mean, it's been quoted in so many things, just as mirror, mirror on the wall. I mean, tons of things.
I hope somebody that is driving right now that's listening to us does not crash a car because their minds have been blowing. I am very sorry. I apologize because we're all feeling this right now. We're all like questioning our existence. They lied to us. They lied. I want to go back and like tell my teachers you tricked me.
Sorry.
Mhm.
I've got a thought on it, but I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
gonna
okay.
save my
That's
thought
okay.
till the end.
No, you go ahead and because I'll bring up some more throughout this, but because there's a bunch.
There is the completely reasonable, rational, empirical explanation that memory is a tricky thing and that our brains may actually be fooling us. But there is a more metaphysical explanation that there are infinite realities that exist alongside our own. And I am not so sure that human consciousness, which cannot be explained as a physical thing, we can't explain what makes a human being conscious. I'm not sure that those consciousnesses don't span the entire gambit of our own consciousnesses and realities that might be alongside our own. We might not shift into those and become aware of those consciousnesses that are alongside our own reality. If that makes any sense whatsoever, it does to me, but it doesn't to everyone. I'm not sure if y'all are catching my drift, but I feel like consciousness might be like a spectrum, and we might shift into various realities just throughout the day, and facts like small things might actually change.
Is that kind of like the
based on
string
one's own
theory?
perception.
Is that kind of like the string theory stuff?
Might be. It's more quantum entanglement. I mean, if two atoms can exist in the same place at the same time, why can't our own consciousness be aware of other realities at the same time? And the realities that would be close to our own would only have small changes, minute things. For instance, the name of a children's book might change, or as I'm walking down the street, and I've experienced this, the actual names of the construction companies that make the tiles in the sidewalk actually change from day to day based on just what mood I'm in. That might be a little bit out there. I'm sorry, guys. I might be going a little bit I haven't actually smoked any weed. today, I promise. But I just like I think perception and reality are fluid.
Yeah, but so are you saying you do this every day? This happens to people every single day? Like you're saying the name of the cement people changes every single day for you? You see a different
Most of
name?
the time, we don't notice it. I think we might not notice that we're just aware of multiple realities at one time. And things like that, like small changes in our culture can actually just change based upon just the moment of the day. But we actually, as a consciousness, a human consciousness, might actually be aware of multiple realities simultaneously.
There was a YouTuber that kind of went with that theory as well. I don't remember the name of it. It was something when we started, when Scott and I were watching the videos and coming up with this, he came up with something similar to what you're saying, Scott, is that you're going through your daily activities, but your brain and your body, I guess, because it's all one, goes in between like a different dimension for a brief moment, and then you're back. But I don't know. I mean,
it's unprovable. That's the thing.
Yes.
It's like something you can't really quantify. So it's fun to speculate about, but it doesn't really have any impact in empirical investigation because you can't really quantify this kind of stuff. But that's more of a spiritual thing. Like I believe it. It's possible, but it's not something like that anyone could prove. So sorry to even throw it in. I'm not sure. It's my first time. I'm not sure if I got off the topic with that.
No. So it's kind of like when we do an investigation, they say that the veil is thin, and that's when the two dimensions kind of collide, and that's where we start seeing the paranormal activity at its height. So it's something similar, I guess you could say, to what you're talking about. But again, there's so much science behind, the psychology of it all. What, like Leah was saying before, how we kind of just do a lump sum thing into your brain and park it there for a while until we need it, come test day, or just like this episode where we're just gonna spew all this out and make you question
Let
everything
the viewer
you've ever
decide.
done. Right. So I mean, it's weird because now since that my kids now look at it, because like there's one about Pikachu's tail.
This I know about.
Does it have black on it or is it yellow?
No,
like
it
the
doesn't
tip
have
of
black
it, is
on
it black on it or is it all yellow?
It has a black tip, doesn't it?
No, it's all yellow, I think.
No, it's all yellow. All yellow.
It's all yellow.
And this comes from a big Pokemon like nerd. I mean, I was into everything. The games, the cards, all of it.
Yeah, and so we were watching something on TV and it was like this thing that's on Netflix. I'll give them a little shout out. It was the King of Collectibles, and they were doing like Pokemon cards. And so Scott and I were looking, we're like, he has no black on his tail. It's all yellow. I'm like, he's supposed to have black though. We swore he had black on his tail, but no, another lie.
Maybe Raichu, his evolved form, might have had something on it. I don't know. I'm geeking out. Sorry.
It's okay. When I was watching that thing, then they were talking, and I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, my kids know about this stuff. I was just like oblivious to this thing. I'm like, I don't know what, they all kind of look the same, and the chunkier they look, the better they are. It was it was an experience. I'm like, I have no idea. I couldn't go to like a Comic-Con thing. I wouldn't. I don't even know if
that sounds like a nice Friday night.
Yeah. It's like my kids talking to me about D&D and then Warhammer stuff, and I'm like, they're spewing out names, and I'm just sitting there going, yes, it's very nice. How much is it going to cost me that you want that character? That's all I need to know. Here's another one for you guys. Forrest Gump. Is it when his famous line about chocolate? You know which one I'm talking about?
Yep.
My mom said lots of chocolates.
Mm-hmm. So is it life is like a box of chocolates, or is it life was like a box of chocolates?
Life is. Don't mess with me on this. Don't piss
Anybody
me off
else?
now.
I think it
What do you
is.
think? Deb, you think it's is?
Is.
Steve?
No, I don't think it is. I have to go the opposite way. No, I'm opposite Steve today. So
It's opposite Thursday. All right. Scott, what did you think it was?
I haven't seen enough of this film to know. I'm going to abstain.
Okay. So, Tom Hanks, great actor, played Forrest Gump. So, it says that magical moment where he's talking about his mama and he's remembering what his mama always told him. Mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates. Turns out he actually said life was like a box of chocolates. Again.
No, perfect. No, you're messing with me. I'm gonna go ahead.
wait. Look, I was just looking at a list here too, and this one kind of freaks me out. It says ET phone home. It said check your connection because the actual quote was ET home phone.
That can't be true. That I'm going to have to say something about. No.
Well, hey, you can complain to the creator of this this website here because that's what they have is their number one. It's their number one that they use.
ET phone home.
I always thought it was ET phone home.
Yeah.
Again, not according to this. According to this, it's ET home phone.
No.
Okay, so have you guys watched Silence of the Lambs?
No.
Yes.
Hello,
Okay.
Clarice.
Yep, Anthony Hopkins and what's her name? Anthony Hopkins and
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Thank you. I'm like, I could see her face and I just could not put her name to it. So that movie, when I was a teenager, my friends and I, well, one of my friends, she and I were watching it, loved the movie. We actually wanted to join the FBI after watching it. Yeah, neither one of us went to the FBI. Neither one of us became cops. Nothing law enforcement at all. We just had kids. So in the movie, Anthony Hopkins, who plays Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, there's a scene where, oh, here it is, Jodie Foster. If I just read a little bit more. He greets her, and who Jodie Foster plays Clarice Starling. Yeah, Starling. So do the words that come out of his mouth say, hello, Clarice? Or does it say something else? Think back.
Oh, it's been too long.
So you see him in his prison cell. There's the glass with the holes, and
Yeah.
she's sitting there looking super scared. And he
says good morning.
So most people say he says hello, Clarice, but he actually says, like Steve said, good morning.
I don't know a lot, but I know that.
Again, watched the movie hundreds of times with my best friend in high school, and
I can see how that could be a false memory because that hello, Clarice, that's been copied so many times with so many things.
And he could have said that numerous times in a movie and other scenes.
Right.
But that seems from that scene, that seems like something that would fit right in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Curious George, the little monkey.
Curious George, oh yeah.
Or does he not have a tail?
He has a tail. he
I
he
can't answer
doesn't
because I just
he
saw it.
doesn't. I don't think he does have a tail.
I think he does.
As weird as it sounds, I don't think he has a tail.
You would be correct. He does not have a tail. He's a monkey without a tail.
You do expect a monkey to have a tail, though.
Well, sometimes, you think of it, he's like hanging around on things. And, as a kid, you're thinking he's hanging from his tail as a monkey. I know
Yeah,
as
but
a
I
kid,
can't
I always
recall.
thought, when I was a kid, I always thought like chimpanzees had tails, and they don't.
No. Although, if he didn't have a tail, that would technically make him an ape.
That's true.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so going back to religion again, the Mother Teresa. So many religious folks today believe that the Catholic nun Mother Teresa became a saint by Pope John Paul II back in the 1990s. Did she become a saint then, or was it after?
I'm just going to say after because I thought she died like no, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it.
I think she became a saint after she died.
I think so.
I'm gonna claim both because I feel like I recall. No, after she became a saint after she died.
Oh yeah, I think after she died as well because you have to go through the whole thing. So
when do you think it was? Do you think it was like?
I think you have to become a saint after you die.
You do, yeah. You become a saint. You are supposed to become a saint. You're allowed to become a saint.
I'm going to say in the mid-90s.
Okay.
I think she became a saint because for some reason I recall her becoming a saint more recently than the 90s. I want to say it was after the millennium. Okay. Maybe even like in the past 10 years.
Well, here's the thing.
I've always known her as a saint, so I don't know.
Mother Teresa died in 1997.
Yeah, there you go.
However, she did not become a saint until 2016.
What?
I thought I thought the woman has been a saint for the last 20, 30 years.
Well, she was. She definitely was, but she was just declared a saint in 2016.
But not 7 years ago.
Right. No, it seems a lot longer than that.
It does. Yeah. Again.
Yeah, I can't really say. I feel like 2016 was probably when I heard about it. That one, I can't really say.
Yeah. Okay, how about Febreze? The spray?
Spray.
Yeah, how do you spell Febreze?
Febreze.
Okay. Anybody else want to guess?
I think drop the E.
I'm going to agree with Scott.
Okay. Leah? Leah, are you cheating?
No.
Stop using Google.
Breeze. Breeze. Isn't it F-A? Fall breeze. Then breeze. E-E-Z-E.
It did never have an E in it.
Everybody's going to need Tylenol by the end of this. We're all going to have headaches.
Because how else would you spell it? He's got to have an E.
So most people think that it's spelled F-E-B-R-E-E-Z-E. But it's
not.
It's always been F-E-B-R-E-Z-E.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
Okay,
so
I would have spelled it with 2 E's because, breeze. But, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, Billy Graham, the Reverend. How
Who?
long ago did he die? Billy Graham, the evangelist, Billy Graham.
I have no
Died
idea
a
who
couple
that
years.
is.
So he was like big on television, and he had like
Yep.
send me your money, and
Yep.
I'm gonna whatever and whatever. So
Whatever.
the whatever. We're gonna save you. You're gonna be able to walk again. And praise
Awesome.
be to Jeebus.
Jeebus.
So Jeebus. So
Well, he was an evangelist, but he wasn't one of the crazy ones. He was more mainstream evangelism.
So he was pretty well known. How long ago do you think he died? 20 years ago? 30 years ago?
I'm gonna
No,
say
about-
30. I'm gonna say 30 years ago.
About 5 years ago at most.
No, because
it's been recent.
I think his son is like in his 40s or 50s.
Yeah, his son took over, but he only died a few years ago. Oh, I
Yeah.
actually heard it on the news when he died. It was just several years ago,
I love
maybe
studying debates.
3 or 4.
And
I
you-
love a debate. So
All right, you guys want the answer?
Mm-hmm.
It's killing everybody, I know. February 2018.
Wow.
You were right.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
How old was he? Does it say?
No, it does not say. But let me go to Google. My friend Google. My coworkers always make fun of me. They're like, Kathy, what is this? Hold on, let me ask Google. Google. When did Billy Graham? There we are. Billy Graham. He was born November 7th, 1918. I would not have thought that he was born in 1918.
Yeah, I didn't think he was
He
that
was
old.
really
Wow.
old.
And he died in 2018.
So he was 100.
Just shy of 100. He was 99.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would have never guessed he was that old, though.
Good job, bro. Yeah, he didn't look like he was 100. Yeah, the years I saw him, and it was recent. Wow. Good job,
Yeah.
bro. Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah. I believe if my memory serves, I believe he was the one that also went to see Queen Elizabeth II, not the first, because that'd make him really damn old.
Yeah.
But she was very like, he came to England and he was in London, and she wanted to, I want to say it was Billy Graham, that she was almost like enamored with him. Let me just, yeah, they had a friendship, Queen Elizabeth II. So she invited him to Buckingham Palace, and then they had a little talkie, and Prince Philip wasn't having him. He wasn't. He's like, you can go back to the other side of the pond, and you can get out of here.
Get out of here, you.
The Yankees got to get out of there. The Redcoats are not having it anymore. So that's to go. Let's see if there's any other ones. Oh, Risky Business. Tom Cruise. He does a little dance. He comes sliding in through the door frame area, wearing a dress shirt and no pants, just his underwear.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of singing. Is he wearing sunglasses or is he not wearing sunglasses? What do you remember?
I never saw it.
I think he had sunglasses on.
I'm a little too young for that.
No,
It's
he
on
had
TV like
that
a
on.
million times, but
Yeah, I don't like a lot of pop culture. So I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've seen the Family Guy parody of it. If
Okay.
that
Okay.
helps.
God, you made me feel old right there. Thanks. So he is not wearing sunglasses, but a lot of people remember him wearing sunglasses.
I think it's because of all the redos of it and like how we
Yeah.
constantly use it for.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like this redo thing or any of that stuff. It's messing with my brain. My brain
Anytime
panics.
anyone goes like da na 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 na, they see like him sliding. You know, like I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot to just kind of fabricate there in one's own mind,
All right, so
including sunglasses.
going nerd, geek, as my son would say it. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr.
That's my
Wizard,
baby.
Mr. Gandalf.
Hell yeah!
Okay. Tells Frodo and the rest of the group when he is now, if I don't get this right, my kid is going to kill me. The Balrog, is that correct? That, I always say it wrong, but it's the big demon that's on fire, and they're in like the oh, here he comes. That's
I wish I could say I was a Tolkien geek, but no, I'm more like a Star Trek geek.
Did I say it right? Balrog? What is he called? Okay, I didn't roll my R's. Sorry, Balrog. Yeah,
Balrog.
Yeah, that thing. So now that we've all geeked out right here,
Okay.
Does he tell them, "Fly, you fools," or "Run, you fools"?
Run, you fools.
Run, you fools.
I don't recall the movie.
Okay, so
What the hell did you just say?
I don't recall the movie. I'm sorry. I don't recall the movie.
Blasphemous. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
I told you I'm more of like a Star Trek geek versus like a swords and horses geek. I'm
don't care. Fired.
Yes. Oh wow.
I am not
so
fired.
To be on our team, you got to get fired at least once. So Scott's not in here to fire anybody, so Leah is taking over that role right now.
I sure did.
And Scotty, my Scotty.
And the only way to get back on this team, now is to go sit your butt down and watch all of it. And I want the extended and director's editions. All right, you're reading it all or watching it all. I want to hear all about it too.
What if I just read all the Tolkien books instead of watching the movies
as well? You're gonna do both.
I have to do both.
Yes.
I have to read all the Tolkien books and then watch all the movies.
Yes.
And then she's going to quiz you afterwards.
Okay, I'll see you guys in a month. God damn it. Oh, man.
And my Scotty is in the background giving you like high fives there, Leah. So.
All right. Scotty's not my favorite.
I feel terrible now. I feel like I've let y'all down.
Well, here we go. So. Remember the Lord of the Rings when Gandalf tells Frodo and the rest of the crew, "Run, you fools," before his dramatic fall. Truth is, the wise wizard actually says, "Fly, you fools."
The hell he does.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, see, that's that part. And then he falls.
Nope. Looking it up. Looking at your talking bull.
Leah, I'm sorry. Your memory has failed you.
The first thing that comes up when you hit Google and you put in Gandalf, the very first thing that comes up is Gandalf, run, you fools. And now it is fly.
I feel like the utilization of Google for this entire thing is actually like
it is fly.
It's tainting the experiment. I mean, you know, we shouldn't use the internet, which might actually be the source of the actual confusion to begin with. To actually, you know, remember these things. It's supposed to be from our minds. We need a control group here.
So,
you know.
Okay, now I know why. Here we go.
Okay.
Buzza boom. All right. The actual quote is "Fly, you fools." However, the original theatrical release, Gandalf did say "Run, you fools," but every DVD release has now been dubbed to say "Fly."
You lie! No, I'm just kidding.
At whatculture.com.
According to Scotty, the director's cut, he says, "Fly, you fools."
He does say "Fly, you fools," but
Yeah.
in that original release, Gandalf said "Run," but it's now been dubbed.
See, I remembered it as Run, but I know my son has watched this movie God only knows how many times. I can't even, it's probably more than he's been alive. He probably started watching it when they were making it. But you know, he'll
But did he go to the theater and then stand up and applaud at the end with the rest of the audience with tears running down your face? Because that's what I did.
should I tell you that I know somebody that was on, like, works with the Lord of the Rings thing and the Hobbit? So a friend of ours works as a or I should say acquaintance. He is a friend, but he works for the digital company that works on The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And you know the map that's in The Hobbit. So the map, it's where they're going to try to find the Lonely Mountain. I like The Hobbit more than Lord of the Rings. Sorry, people. Here, everybody's turning everything off now. They don't want to listen to us anymore.
I like Return of the King more than any of the other films.
So there's the map that they are trying to get to the Lonely Mountain and find their way to get back into their kingdom under the mountain.
Yeah.
So he had the guy that actually drew the map make another one for his dad for his birthday. And we got to see it. This map was like, he had it framed, so it's got like a little light on the side. And you flip that on, and that part that glows when you have to have it in the right sun or the right moonlight.
Yeah.
It'll come up. It does that. It's a cool thing.
That's pretty sweet.
Cool.
So that's the one that lives in New Zealand. Well, lived in New Zealand. So that
Which is now below Australia for some reason.
Yes, it's now below Australia. Off to the side, south of Australia. My aunt would probably be like, "You better know where it is because I live in Australia, or I'm from Australia." And well, she lives here now, but
I swear, I'm from a universe where it's above Australia. I know this, but anyway,
maybe you're holding a map upside down.
You know what? I'm not going to rule that out, actually.
Okay, so here was another one. I did have to Google this one because I could not remember. This is for the Star Wars fans now. Again.
Star Wars sucks.
This one I'll get.
Okay. So another one is about C-3PO. Now, for those that are thinking about C-3PO, no, he's not that little droid that rolls around and everything. No, that's R2-D2.
Yes.
I'm so proud of me.
They're both the same thing.
I'm saying this right. So C-3PO is the one that is the android that is walking. He's got a head and arms, legs, and stuff like that.
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations.
There you go. So he's made out of gold, right?
Yep.
Mm.
So if people, okay, well, you know what, Leah? Work with me here, lady. So anyway, he's made out of gold, or at least gold plated from head to toe. But if you look closer, his right leg is silver from below the knee.
Yep.
Only in certain scenes.
If you look it up, though, he's got that. I hate it because I had, like I said, I had to go and Google it because I'm like, that. No, he's gold all the way through. He's gold.
He was replated a few times in that film. Like there was one time where, I actually do feel like he had a silver leg, but I mean, but then there was also like a version of him from the Cloud City that was also silver, but no, he was gold all the way through. or most
Yeah.
of that film.
Yeah. Well, he was also naked at some point. I don't know how a droid can be naked, but you could see all his insides.
That was in the new, that was in the new version. I think that was episode 1. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the one nobody likes. I like it, but my kids don't like it. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's just a cultural thing. I liked it, but it's hip to say that it was bad, but I don't know.
Well, I'm a Star Trek guy, so I don't really care that much about Star Wars.
I'm a Star Trek guy too, and I feel you, bro. I definitely feel you on that.
Okay,
I'll show you sometime. I collect lots of Star Trek stuff, so I'll show you sometime.
We will have to talk. Yeah, absolutely.
So here's again for Disney fans, Cinderella's Castle. When you go to Disney, you go to Cinderella's Castle. And we're talking about Disney World, not Disneyland, okay? Is it close to the entrance, right? When you walk in in Magic Kingdom, there's Cinderella's Castle right there, right?
I have no clue.
I've only ever been to Epcot, and that was once. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's a hike.
Debbie, you're right. It is. So when you get in, you get, your strip searched and everything, and then you put your little hand on the thing. Like it was like going through an obstacle course trying to get into Disney when I took my kids a couple years ago. I'm surprised I didn't have to give my DNA sample on my firstborn just to walk through the doors. So once we got through security, people that had strollers didn't get patted down as much as we did. It was kind of crazy. So we get through, and then there's the train tracks, which at the time the train was not running when we were there. And this is 2019 that we went. And you got to go down Main Street. And once you get through Main Street, there's a little center, not square, but there's a little circular little area with Mickey and Walt Disney himself. And that statue. Yes. And then you walk a little bit farther down, and that's where Cinderella's Castle is. Here's my little Mandela Effect thing, because I went to Disney a lot of times as a child. My parents took me a whole bunch of times. I remember walking through the castle, walking through the tunnel and getting into the Magic Kingdom area to go on all the rides and stuff. When I went to Disney a couple years back, I had to walk around the castle. There is no tunnel. Where in the world did my brain get that there was a tunnel at Disney World? Did not exist.
Other side.
Like a tunnel underground?
No. You can.
No, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Other side of the castle. It's not really it's like you're going kind of into under the castle. It looks kind of tunnely. It has bricks around it and bricks around you, the walls, and then there's paintings and stuff. It's on the other side of the castle, but you can't go through the castle that way.
Yeah, you can't go through. So you're thinking of where they have Cinderella. You can have a sit down dinner or whatever, breakfast or whatever it is with Cinderella.
That's all upstairs in there.
Yeah. But as a child, I specifically remember walking through Main Street, going past Mickey and Walt, and walking through the tunnels. And it was the doors had opened wide for me, and all my Disney experience was just butterflies and birdies around my head. And, ooh, there's Mickey, there's Minnie, And there's this big tunnel that didn't exist. There's a picture of me and my husband standing in front of the castle, staring at the castle. In my mind, I'm sitting there going, where the hell is that tunnel? There's a stage, a cement stage. So where did my little brain come up with this tunnel? And I'm thinking what happened is when I was a child, you'd watch the Disney movies. They come on TV. Kids, nowadays they can watch a DVD whenever they want. But for us, it was at night on a weekend, all of a sudden.
Sunday nights. Yes. Sunday nights.
And then you'd see the castle come on TV, and there's the tunnel.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I remember that. The beginning of that, because there was a castle with the fireworks.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So I think my little brain at the time took those two things and mixed them together and said, yes, there is a tunnel.
Or maybe you experienced it in a different lifetime.
Yeah, I went back and looked at pictures. My brain lied again. I can't. This is just too much for me. So
This episode has caused me to question my own brain.
yeah.
I have to wonder about certain things now.
Do you guys remember the show MASH?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Great
Radar.
show.
Yeah, Radar. Little Radar. Radar O'Reilly was in the beginning of MASH. Right?
One heck of a drummer too.
So
That guy.
he first of all, I didn't realize that he was a colonel. Did you know he was a colonel?
He was a corporal.
That's what I thought. But on here it says he's oh wait, never mind. I lied again, my brain. I have to continue reading. Colonel's waiter. That's what he was known as, the Colonel's waiter. I was like, wait, I don't remember him as a colonel. Anyway, so his character, how did he leave MASH? Alive or dead?
Alive.
He left and went back to
Ottumwa, Iowa.
Ottumwa, Iowa. He met a girl on the way home, actually.
Okay. So the thing is, a lot of people remember the death of him.
No.
Because
That
I remember that he went to San Francisco and he met like the wife of
BJ.
Colonel Potter and
Yes.
BJ, and they had like a reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't recall that at all.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I think what happens with people on that one is their colonel at the time, after Radar had left, he was going home. And he didn't make it.
Henry Blake.
Yep.
His plane crashed at takeoff. On its way to
plane
Japan.
crashed. Exactly.
Yeah.
But Blake's plane crashed, and then Radar went home long after that. Once Potter came on, Colonel Potter,
Yes.
Radar went home to Ottumwa, Iowa, and on the way home he met a girl, and Blake was the only one that died, to my knowledge.
So I think that's where people get that one confused, because they work so closely with each other that they mix them up, thinking that the colonel was Radar, the Radar was colonel, and they flipped their deaths.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Wow.
All right, here's one for car guys. So the Ford logo. How's the Ford logo look? The F in the Ford logo.
You would think I would know this because we both drive a Ford, but I have no clue.
Isn't it cursive?
Okay.
Like real cursive?
So do you remember the curly wave at the end of the F in the Ford logo? If you don't, chances are you're not alone. However, in reality, the little flare has been part of the original logo since the 1990s.
The F in the Ford logo, the little flare looks like an arrow that points right to the closest Chevy dealership. Says buy us instead. No, I do recall the flare in the F.
Yeah, see, and most people, they don't remember it. Okay, here's one for music fans. I know people are probably like, stop, just stop. The band Queen. Freddie Mercury.
My wife's favorite band.
Okay. The legendary rock band Queen sang "We Are the Champions," right?
My
I don't
friends.
know anymore. I don't trust the damn thing that comes out of your mouth, so I don't know. Did they?
We are the champions, my friends.
So,
And we'll keep on fighting until the end.
So what they say is, they sing "We Are the Champions" is usually heard at every triumphant sporting moment, event, or whatever. But it's the end that's a lot different. Most people recall that they swear that Freddie Mercury belts out what lyric at the end? Of the world?
No, it's not of the world. It's just "We Are the Champions." That's how that song ends.
Okay.
No, I think it's of the world.
No, it's not. My wife would kill me. Her favorite band. She's in the other room just looking at me right now, like, don't get this stuff wrong.
Don't get it wrong. You're sleeping on the couch if you get it wrong.
Oh,
It's of the world, though. I recall the song. I've sung the song. We are the champions of the world.
Freddie Mercury belts out the lyrics of the world at the end, but in reality, the original recording simply ends with "No time for losers, because we are the champions."
boom.
And everybody right now is sitting there going, "Of the world."
Not me. Thanks, Joe. See, I can go up to bed now.
My goodness. Oh,
Jill, he made you proud.
That hurts me.
Hey, I was shaking.
Yeah. Sweating bullets on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But that is a weird one because that's...
Please tell your
you
wife
hear-
I'm sorry,
you know.
but I disagree.
We're actually going to see Queen with Adam Lambert in Minneapolis in July.
Oh, that ought to be an awesome show.
nice.
Heck yeah.
I watched the thing on, I watch Netflix way too much. I have no life besides paranormal and Netflix, apparently. But I watched the one with Queen and Adam Lambert and how they got him involved and stuff like that. It was kind of interesting. Because I remember watching him on American Idol.
Yeah, so do I, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was more like an Elvis. I would have never thought Freddie Mercury in the beginning with him. Because he just had the look of Elvis
But they're both very theatrical, so I think that was a good fit, and he's got a good voice. But
right.
I'm old school. Again, it's for the wife. I need to get let back in the house and stuff, so we're going.
That's awesome, though. You guys have fun with that. I'm jealous. So how many minds have we blown tonight with this episode? Somebody's probably sitting in a corner crying, going, "I hate my life right now." It's okay. It's okay. You can hate it right now. I feel for you. My brain has lied to me so many times now. I don't know what to believe. Like you said, Leah, just one lie after another. I don't know what to believe.
It is.
I mean, thank God that this.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, I mean, thank God Fiona came up with this Mandela effect to question everything in life now. Thank you very much, Fiona. I appreciate that. But now I start looking at things a lot closer, going, what else lied to me? My brain, what's happening here? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
I mean, I wonder too how many times that companies, but we'll just talk about companies and names of products and stuff, that they just do subtle changes and you don't realize it. You just always think of the old stuff, and the change might be so small that you don't even think about it. You
Right.
know,
Bag is
like I
bigger,
just
but
saw
there's
right
not as
now.
many chips.
I just saw right now that the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile is having its name changed. And it's going to be called the Frank Mobile. So 25 years from now, is anyone going to remember that was called the Frank Mobile, that they changed the name? Or is it always going to be that?
Right.
I personally think it's a good idea to always to keep in mind the things that we see in our world, because they are always changing, and we don't know the motivations, if there are any, behind those changes. But to keep like a perspective on one's world, and to keep in mind the things that are the same and that are different, is just, it's healthy, like to try to maintain that sense of what is real and what is not. I think it's important.
I agree.
And that's why I think I got into the things that we do, like our investigations. I think that's all part of that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because there's not an investigation that I don't go on that I sit there and I question what I see. Is it my mind playing tricks on me? Not that I can trust every piece of equipment that we have and that we utilize. Because it can do false readings and stuff like that. 100% agree with people that you cannot always rely on that. But then this Mandela effect, that also makes you question your own brain.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be questioning myself this weekend when we go on an investigation. I'll be like, is this what I'm seeing, or is this not what I'm seeing? I don't know.
But hey, it's important to like at the same time, to question oneself, but also to keep, a healthy understanding that what you see, as long as you document that in a certain way, it's a comfort to know that you know certain things.
Right.
I might not. I'm sorry if I'm not making any sense. I'm trying to articulate my thoughts here, but they're kind of, do y'all get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Kind of. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. That's why we kind of document everything that we're doing when we're doing investigations anyway, so that our minds can play tricks on us. Even when we're listening to, audio of things and video of things, we're looking through it and we're like, is that something paranormal? Oh no, that was so-and-so doing this. And, this person moved here and they made this kind of a noise. And, we're always double checking everything before we actually put it down in writing of, this is what our conclusion is. This is the findings that we came up with. And that's, with every investigation, we have all this documentation that we do per case. But the Mandela effect is kind of nice that it is around, because it makes you check your facts, even though it might drive you crazy, and everybody's going to need some Tylenol after this, because we just all thought that we knew all this stuff one way, and then it ends up being a completely different way. And, run you fools, fly you fools. But it's like a check and balance type thing.
I just think it's really interesting to me, the whole thing, and I'm not still sure what I think about this, but that people from so many different places and occupations, and people who don't know each other, spread across a wide area, still have the same memories. I just think that's so strange.
Right. And it's not even in one country. It's in
Right.
multiple countries. Like you said, it's mind blowing.
Yep.
Like it kind of, when I was thinking about this whole thing, and I go back to when my kids were younger, they would watch Toy Story, and Toy Story has like these little green aliens. And there was a cartoon that was of Buzz Lightyear and him going, and he was doing his thing as his ranger. And they would talk about the little aliens, and they had this mind, like, not melting, but they have their little antennas, and the antennas would kind of like have like a beacon, and they all think of the same exact thing, and they would say the same exact thing. It reminds me of that. Like the Mandela Effect is these little green aliens from Buzz Lightyear, and we all remember a certain way, even though Google tells us something completely different.
Don't trust the internet.
I try not to, but
Let's trust your mind.
I tried, and my mind was lying to me. There was no tunnel in the Cinderella castle. There's
perhaps we ought to do a podcast one day on AGI, on the artificial intelligence that is approaching, because that's going to make everything a little bit more confusing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It freaks me out when I see these robots that are like actually talking and stuff like that to people.
Oh, it's coming.
iRobot all over again. So, anybody else got anything else they want to talk about, or are you guys good on this topic and I'll need to like go and cry in a corner, just like one of our listeners is doing right now? Go sob in a pillow. They're wrong. Wicked Darkness with Soup Pit is wrong. Everybody's pulling out their phones and checking their Google accounts now, and I'm really sorry.
Do you guys mind if I just say that I'm happy to be a part of the team, and I'm glad y'all brought me in, and I look forward to more things like this. I'm just happy to be here,
and we're happy to have you.
Very good.
I hope I was okay tonight. It's my first time on the podcast. So.
Did great. And
awesome.
People, if you're listening, and they can always make their little comments on our website, our Facebook page.
Everybody out there, subscribe to the Soap Pit podcast, because we are right here with the Wicked Darkness, and we're happy to have you.
So, since we're closing out, for our believers, keep believing. For our skeptics, keep us grounded. I'm Kathy. Until next time, have a good night.
Good night.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Take care. I will talk to you guys when we get back from the investigation this week.
Yeah, have a good investigation.
Have fun.
Thanks.
Right.
We'll try to keep the insane where they are.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
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 And thanks, guys.
Thank you.